A toasty night here at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville as one Knoxville SC returned from their road trip to host a team embarking on their own in the Charlotte Independence. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by KUB Fiber. Philip Galati with you on the call as we take a look at the standings in USL League One coming into tonight's contest. Charlotte Independence on a 3-game winning streak, and that's moved them all the way up to second place just behind North Carolina FC. Meanwhile, one Knoxville SC still trying to find their footing a little bit, currently sitting at place number 6. And when we talk about one Knoxville SC, we talk about number 6 as well in Jessen van der Ploem. Check out the stop-start player, as his head coach describes him. On defense, leaves his mark, communicates with the center back to pick him up. That allows van der Ploem to drift into the passing lane, intercept the pass, and then start the counterattack. Somebody who plays that traditional CDM role is able to orchestrate the defense. And then on offense, directing traffic, telling his teammates to push up and fill the wide areas. So what does he do on the ball? Much of the same thing. When he receives this pass, almost every player is facing directly at him with his back to goal. But look at his body language. He's looking at the other side of the pitch, plays a perfect pass to the far side and a great touch as well. That opens up more space over there. Everybody gets to step up a little bit. And in the end, it turns into a great chance for one Knoxville in the early stages on the road. Just too bad they couldn't put it away. Look for much of the same from him tonight as we look at a player on the other side of midfield, Tracer Mbuyu. He has scored in each of his last 3 games. And remember, Charlotte Independence on that 3-game win streak. He's been a key part of it, playing that left mid role. While tonight, he plays at the left striker role in a 2-striker pairing. So a chance for him to get higher up the pitch early and often. It'll be interesting to see if he can get goal 4 or maybe more tonight. All right, that's it for us for now. We're going to step aside for a little bit, but when we come back, we've got the starting 11 and, of course, the first half kick from Regal Soccer Stadium. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Baba Karchai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
Ami Rabi is the director of soccer.
Back here in the Marble City as one Knoxville SC get ready to take on the Charlotte Independence, presented by KUB Fiber. We've talked about a couple players. How about we talk about a couple more? For the host, Derek Waldeck played last year in more of a midfield role, now a traditional 2-way left back, but don't let that fool you. He's got 2 assists on the season, 1 from open play and 1 from a beautifully delivered set piece. Somebody who has been continually improving this season in the eyes of his manager, Mark McKeever. As we'll take a look at where he fits into the starting 11 for head coach Mark McKeever. In that left back spot, 4-4-1-1, the formation of choice tonight, with Callum Johnson, number 12, playing a little bit more of that traditional 10 role. And then up top, number 7, Jake Keegan, leading the team with 5 goals on the season. He'll have to do some work tonight to beat the best goalkeeper in the league right now. Austin Pack for the Charlotte Independents leads USL League One in saves and goals against average, 6 clean sheets. Not too shabby indeed, able to make those fantastic saves low, high, either side of his body. Been a key part of this back line that many teams this season have struggled to score against. 4-4-2 the formation of choice tonight for head coach Mike Jeffries. Tracer Mbuyu, we talked about him a little earlier, usually plays that left mid role, now in a 2-striker pairing with Corey Bennett, who makes his 5th start this season and also has 3 goals for the visitors. Just about ready to kick things off here. It will be the Independents on the right side of your screen in the blue, attacking right to left. That will start proceedings. Meanwhile, one Knoxville SC in their brand new Marble City kits, debuting for the first time tonight, released just 2 days ago. The pink tops and the white shorts attacking left to right. It will be the left midfielder, Miguel Ibarra, to start things off, and we are underway from Regal Soccer Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Visitors already trying to go direct. And the flag stays down against Corey Bennett. Chance for the Independents to settle things now in the top half of the field. Cut out just as quickly. And one Knoxville, a team that is capable of the counterattack. Not a lot of options available though. The game plan tonight for one Knoxville was to keep possession. This is a team that moves the ball very well, likes to be on the ball, but sometimes forces the pass that doesn't need to be forced. It's more of, can they take the smarter decision rather than just the first one that's available, said head coach Mark McKeever. And against Charlotte, a team with one of the best defenses in this league, it's going to be about those players who can settle things down, calm the players around them, look for the first or second or maybe even third option, whatever's best, whatever's on. Long ball forward towards Keegan. Cleared out for a throw. There's a better look at the Marble City jersey, debuting tonight for one Knoxville. And the city of Knoxville was a trade hub for marble in the early 20th century, nickname used as late as the 1950s. Early chance for the visitors. Thomas stepping up. There is Jessen van der Ploem, who we talked about, already switching to point of attack. Early cross toward the back post, needed to be headed away and was. Shalom Doobie, the first to it.
One Knoxville corner kick.
And while we wait on the corner kick, let's take a look at the injuries for tonight. It will be an ongoing story, as one Knoxville have plenty of names out, questionable with doubt. Meanwhile, Charlotte Independents only without Bachir and Dye, a much stronger, much deeper lineup for a team that didn't play last week. Brought to you by the University Orthopedic Surgeons. First corner kick ready to be swung into the box in the 3rd minute. The arm goes up from Derek Waldeck, 2 assists on the season toward the back post, and it looks like there was a little bit of pushing and shoving in the box. And the whistle sounds for the first time from center official Gabriele Ciampi. And to that injury report point, Charlotte got lucky last week, didn't have to play a game, had 3 games in a row at home, all of which they won. Then come into tonight, the first of a handful of games on the road for them. Talked to head coach Mike Jeffries earlier in the week, and they said, well, they had a 4-day break just to rest, just to elevate the emotions a little bit, get back into the swing of things. It's a very long season, but that is a welcome break by these players, I'm sure. And when they came back, he said they were sharp. They were ready to go. Coming into tonight with fresh legs. A team that will want to be aggressive from the get-go if they want to try and get in behind Knoxville's low block. Dunwell. Pass deflected out of play from Mbuyu, who's already checking back into that more familiar left mid role for himself. A better look at Tresor Mbuyu. 3 goals this season, making his 12th start tonight. started every game except one. USL League One Player of the Month in April. Errant pass in midfield could lead to a quick break, if not for a strong header at the back. Creative flick in midfield by Omar Sis, met by the jeers of the Knoxville faithful, of course. All ready to restart play. Or not. So a chance now for Charlotte to step up just a little bit, settle into things. Playing the 4-4-1-1 formation. Still scoreless in the other game, by the way, between Richmond and Forward Madison. That went all the way in the 32nd minute. Meanwhile, Tormenta and Northern Colorado have just kicked off as well. An action-packed weekend well underway in USL League One. Physical battle on that near sideline. Love to see the aggression early. Avion Flanagan winning the throw-in. Former DC United Academy product. A lot of movement in that area, but couldn't find a blue shirt to throw it to. And again, said his name before, we will a lot tonight, Vander Plaum winning the free kick. We get ready to take the set piece with the Select Ball, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Vander Plaum playing it back to the safe option. Now all the way back to Lewis, who is also in the hunt for that Golden Glove Award very early on in the season. Inside the top 5 spots. One Knoxville, a team that has done well to play as a unit defensively, something that they have worked on this season, said head coach Mark McKeever. When you have a new team, it's tough to gel right away, as to be expected, of course, but as the season's gone on, they've gotten better and better. Fought a very difficult scoreless draw last time out against Northern Colorado, and that was a game where Coach McKeever said they could have taken more out of in terms of the scoreboard, in terms of the standings. And they are more than ready tonight. Plenty of play down this near side channel. Flanagan slotting in at the left back spot. Has been able to explore some space on the near sideline, though not to much avail. Another giveaway. And another physical coming together. And some kick-ups on the near side. How about it? There's a poor miscommunication in midfield. And Mbuyu's going to try and go. Has Bennett to his right-hand side, and it required a strong challenge from Jordan Skelton. Captain of this one Knoxville SC side concedes the first corner for the visitors. Looks like it will be Omar Sis to take it as Mbuyu occupies some space in the 6-yard box, just trying to put off the keeper a little bit. Referee keeping a watchful gaze around the penalty area. Here is the in-swinging ball to the back post. Headed away for now, and eventually stamped skywards. Everybody in this half of the pitch trying to get something going, and it was a smart header back from Derek Waldeck. Talked about Flanagan, the left back for Independence. Derek Waldeck, the left back for Knoxville, who explored more of a midfield role last year with North Texas SC and head coach Pamo Dukas. And now we'll try and join this offensive chance that is brought down early. Poor challenge from Shalom Duty, who is the first into the pocketbook tonight. Duty picking up his 3rd yellow card of the season. Lovely line-breaking pass in midfield, and yeah, it's a poor one. Just a yellow card, nothing more, just stopping a promising attack. Duty will have no complaints as he looks to check back with his fellow defenders and hold the line on the dead ball scenario. Knoxville will slowly creep forward, but the flag will go up. Offside call against Knoxville. Duty this time with the ball at his feet for Flanagan. Buyu checking in. James Thomas committing a foul. Buyu already exploring that space in a 2-striker pairing. It's traditional for the 2 strikers to stay high up the pitch for 1, and 2 for them to be no more than maybe 10, 15 yards apart. But in the early stages, the offense from Charlotte looking a lot more free-flowing, trying to get in behind the channels and see if they can drag the Knoxville line every which way. Buyu and Bennett, that 2-striker pairing, both with 3 goals on the season. Bennett in half the minutes, just his 5th start tonight. Really more of the super sub and earned his way back into the starting 11. That's a sliding challenge and looks like a yellow card. It will be. And in the 11th minute, we've already had 2 cautions, 1 for each side. Lovely one-touch pass. And Thomas comes in late. It's a tough challenge, but from that look, it looks like the right call. Just starting to creep into the psyche now of these players. Will that be a theme? The physicality of this match. Will the referee's pocketbook start to slowly fill up with guilty parties? Dunwell checking back. Sis with a couple players around him and loses possession. Knoxville could be on the break here. Keegan trying to carry it, didn't have a lot of options on his right-hand side and forced to turn back. Again, Knoxville talked about keeping the ball, going to try and stand one up. Lovely touch by Villalobos, cutting it back across the frame, and it glances wide. Callum Johnson thought he had the definitive touch and just spun away from him at the last moment. Lovely switch of the point of attack. Great first touch by Villalobos. And Johnson never really caught all of it. Just 1 goal this season, Callum Johnson, the New York native, against Chattanooga all the way back on May 16th, rather. And just like that, Knoxville spring the counterattack. Been pretty mellow so far, no real sights of goal. A quick break from Jake Keegan. Again, we talked about Mark McKeever putting the emphasis for his team on finding the correct pass rather than just the first one. Didn't want to force the option in, so he turns back, waits for support. Then it's a different player who plays it long, and Villalobos is on the end of it with plenty of space. And you wonder if Johnson thinks he could have done better with that. Waldeck all the way up. Chance to control it now for Villalobos. Here's Skelton. Vanderploum surveys the scene. Lovely pass. Will find Johnson in plenty of space again. Vanderploum gonna look long one more time. Another good pass from him. Already that stop-start motion from Vanderploum in full effect. Able to start attacks so effectively with that long-range passing. Thomas will retreat to the near sideline. Thought about the cross, instead went back with Vanderploum. Back line for Charlotte just condensing a little bit. Knoxville forced back a couple times. Is the pass on from Vanderploum? Not quite. Johnson was calling for it. Almost got on the end of it. Excellent defensive possession by the Independents, just forcing their opponents back down the pitch. And the back line, you see now Flanagan with his toes on the near side touchline. Right back, Clay Dimmick not even on your screen. So much wider now than they were in defense. Sis forced to hurry things along. Spielman. Omar Sis. Shaped pass up towards Bennett now, who is occupying that space we saw Tracer Mbuyu in a little bit earlier. Here is head coach Mark McKeever, second season in charge of One Knoxville SC, of course their first in USL League One. 4-4-4 coming into tonight, compared to Charlotte 6-4-2. Still very early going in the 2023 USL League One campaign. Ibarra into the middle for Johnson, cutting it back towards Bennett. Not the best clearance the first time around, the second a little more convincing. And the foul on the end of it as well, won by Jake Keegan. No card this time, just a talking to. Though it doesn't seem that Nicholas Spielman agrees with that decision. The head coach for the Independents, Mike Jeffries, has been with the team since 2015 at the helm, since 2019. And has had the ability to retain a lot of these players through the years, help them grow. Charlotte finishing 6th last year. And so far, off to a pretty good start in 2023. As another win in midfield turns into a Knoxville counterattack. Trying to spring some space on the far side, and the ball did go out of bounds. Looked for a second there that the cross might be on. Waldeck doing everything he could. Two-time NCAA Division I champion at Stanford University. Got a chance to talk with him last year at North Texas, and now that he's made the transition to the pro game, it's not easy, he said. There's a lot of players on both sides of midfield tonight that have played college soccer, D1, D2, NAIA, you name it. College, you have the winding down clock. They removed the overtime rule. It's a lot more fast pace, unlimited substitutions. You got to pick and choose your chances in professional soccer. Looked like a chance on there for the Independents, not to be. Passing was on, it looked like it came off Keegan last, and it did. It's the right call by the AR, though it doesn't seem like the Knoxville faithful agree. But again, compared to college soccer, if that was a University of Tennessee at Knoxville game, it'd be a different story. Unlimited subs, and you can press much higher. The low block isn't as effective because teams just play so quickly. Pace is something that's crucial. In pro soccer, you only get a couple substitutions, only a couple chances to use them too. Can you pick and choose the moments? That one wasn't on for Mbuyu. He let up early. The fatigue factor comes into play when you try and that long ball over the top. Tracer Mbuyu, like everybody else on Charlotte Independence, has had some time to rest up. Won't chase a ball that's going out of bounds. As they get ready to embark on the first tonight of a 4-game stretch on the road. Calls for time to be played back. Appeals for a foul weren't given. Kelly Rosales went down. Referee was not interested. It's always a tough ball to play with your back to goal, knowing that you're going to have to take some contact as well. Ball staying with One Knoxville for now. Waldeck Calls to turn for Frank Ross, which he does. Splits the defenders. Villalobos moves it along to the far side. Options in the area. To the back post, open shot, great save! Austin Pack again and again, as he has done all season, denying an excellent opportunity for James Thomas. This is a fantastic pass from Keegan to be able to find that run, and Pack with some excellent positioning, just able to get the knee down. Not the prettiest, but it'll do. Make that save number 49 on the season for him. A chance for some sustained pressure in the attacking third for one Knoxville. We haven't seen that in the opening 20 minutes or so. Vanderploum looking almost like three at the back now with Jessen Vanderploum on the other side of midfield, usually in the center of the park. And that'll allow the outside backs to step up a little bit. Jalen Chrysler. Vanderploum. Want to go long, but it just isn't on. Excellent patient defense by Charlotte. Vanderploum all the way up. Head on for Johnson if he can keep it in play. And does? Yes, he does. Johnson. Kelly Rosales. Villalobos. To the far side. Again, options queuing up in the 18-yard box. One of them is Keegan. It was just over his head. Appealing for the corner and won't get the decision. Into the 22nd minute here at Regal Soccer Stadium. Still scoreless between one Knoxville SC and Charlotte Independence. Philip Galati with you every step of the way. Earliest chance, or rather the best chance of the game, happened a little earlier for James Thomas. Man playing the right back position in his 6th appearance of the season, as the Richmond-Madison game is scoreless at the break. Meanwhile, Tormenta and Northern Colorado also scoreless, that one in the 19th minute. Ibarra forced to win the throw-in. Again, we've seen a lot of play on this near side touchline, right in between both sets of benches. Haven't really seen Charlotte try and explore the other wing. They might do now. Johnson has plenty of space to do so. Instead goes back the way he came. Mbuyu in the corner, waiting for support. Onto his right foot, back onto his left. Mbuyu trying to keep it in play. Excellent defense by James Thomas, who wins the goal kick. And he was pumped up too. Tracer Mbuyu, not an easy player to play defense against. Has scored in each of his last 3 contests. Tried to cut back onto his left. That extra touch, trying to open up space for the cross. Just ran out of wiggle room. Great interception in midfield though by Dunwell. Chance for Charlotte now as they get numbers forward. Cross into the area towards Mbuyu, headed away. Chrysler first to it, and now Knoxville will go the other way at speed. To the far side. Appeals for offside aren't given. 2 in the box for the cross. And eventually stamped away by Skelton. Another corner kick coming up for one Knoxville. Jalen Chrysler took that from coast to coast. Played the smart option. The flag stayed down. Tried his best to get available in the box, but you see 4 blue shirts around him. He's never going to find that pass, Jake Keegan, but does enough to win a corner kick. And again, that's that scenario we talked about earlier for one Knoxville, where maybe you have to hold that one up rather than try and force that ball. It'll be Waldeck from from the far side, on the left foot. Chips it to the back post. Headed back in front, still in play, and that'll be easy in the end for Austin Pack. Just a little strong on the corner. Spielman tried to keep it alive. Just not the torque on the flick that would have kept that chance going. Here is Avion Flanagan. Trying to find Omar Sis. Yet another new name we've talked about in that traditional left wing position, as Charlotte continues to experiment with the positioning and who can occupy where and when. Being fluid, being dynamic, being unpredictable. That's something that was an emphasis today for Charlotte. Here's Bennett. Keeps possession alive. Chance for the stand-up cross, and Buyu was up for it. Just a little bit strong in the end. But if that connects, we're probably talking 1-0 here. Miguel Ibarra was the man who played that ball into the box. On paper, playing the left mid position tonight. As you can see, in defense, 3 across instead of the 4-4-2 we talked about earlier in the broadcast. As Johnson applies the pressure and forces the ball out of play. Defender wasn't back in time. That gives Mbuyu some green grass onto his left foot. Wanted the shot. Looked like it got a piece of it off the defender, Jordan Skelton. Mbuyu checks his surroundings first, as any good striker does. The step over created almost enough space, but that would have been a heck of an angle to try and squeeze that ball past Sean Lewis. Omar Sis to deliver, 1 assist on the season. It's a good looking ball, headed away. Corners so far have been very dangerous, coming off the feet of those who played them. Ibarra, second opportunity, into the mixer. Still requiring a clearance away. That's a lovely first touch by Johnson to release Kelly Rosales. Could be a 3-on-2 opportunity. Johnson with space, 2 options to his left shoulder. It's Callum Johnson! And it looked like a cross in the end. That will go out for a Knoxville throw. Lovely first touch by Johnson to release his teammate in behind, Angelo Kelly Rosales. A 1-2 back for Johnson. Picked his head up and it was gonna be a cross, but you wonder if he should have shot that. Had so much space, not the most forgiving angle, but far from the tightest. Vanderploem weathers the storm, takes the contact and keeps the play alive. Thomas, corner, throw-in, almost. But regardless, it's still 1 Knoxville ball. Thomas gets it right back. Vanderploem asking for someone to check in, has to force it back instead. Body language was a little more subtle that time from Jessen Vanderploem, but still you can see how his teammates respond to that direction. Nobody checking in. Long ball isn't on. Rosales forced to play the way he faces. Vanderploem trying to call for it and isn't given the opportunity to open up. Charlotte doing a really good job of forcing the Knoxville players to play with their back to goal. Maybe some space to explore now on the far side, and there was. Ball just too strong for James Thomas. Avion Flanagan to take the throw-in, wearing the smallest shin guards I've ever seen. Great throw-in to find Bennett. First touch moves it along. Here's Dunwell. Dimmick for Ibarra. Forced to turn back, 2 players on him. Tries to square up to the defender. Wants the 1-2 and gets it. Derek Waldeck doing his best to play defense on that far side and forces the ball back for now. Here's Omar Sis. Duty for Flanagan. Space for the cross. Tees it up towards Mbuyu. Headed away. Only as far as Dimmick on the far side. A couple more blue shirts joining the attack now. Ibarra for Johnson. Back towards Dunwell. Sis has some space for the shot. He thought about it. Took a deflection on the way through. Now with Waldeck. Chested down by Keegan and eventually dispossessed. Charlotte might have the space to break here. Mbuyu going down, and the referee's whistle stays silent. Mbuyu now committing the foul, and Waldeck to his feet quite angrily, and that's why. The 3rd yellow card of the night goes to Tresor Mbuyu. That will be his 2nd of the season. Maybe just a little bit of frustration showing from that no call he wanted. Goes down a little bit softly, and that's a trip. There was definitely contact in that earlier coming together, but looked like the ball had gotten away from him well before he hit the ground. Vanderploum looking long. That's what he'll try. And not the best pass we've seen from him. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Back with Omar Sis once again. And the Knoxville attacking players just backing off a little bit. Not that high-octane counter-pressing that we've seen from Charlotte. That'll open up space in midfield to explore, which the Independents will do. Flanagan with the step over. Takes the challenge. Wants the 1-2, but Ibarra forced to turn back to where the ball came from. Sis went down after playing the pass, and once again the referee won't signal for a foul. Look at the Marble City kit slowly striding forward now. Numbers up for 1 Knoxville, and it's a poor pass in the end. It's the first time in a long time we'd seen the attacking and midfield units really move up in unison. It seemed like every player marching to the beat of the same drum. Now they'll have to settle back into that low block. Spielman. Dunwell forced back. Now Ibarra wants to go forward. Has some real estate to do so. And as soon as he meets the first challenge, forced to turn back. Play Dimmick to Johnson. Pass poked away. Keegan with his back to goal once again. Hasn't had too much time, Jake Keegan, the forward tonight for 1 Knoxville, to really turn and face at goal. Kelly Rosales going into it, but loses out. Opportunity from the shot from way out. And that won't trouble Sean Lewis. Wants to get things started right away with his right back, Thomas. Just left the pass a little bit behind, and just like that, an attack can dissipate. Just a foot or two the wrong direction. And when you're playing at speed, if you play a ball behind somebody, that completely kills momentum. Speaking of killing momentum, Charlotte doing a good job of playing defense here, but not good enough. Kelly Rosales skipping away from 1 challenge and a second. Options either side of him. Here's Kelly Rosales going himself, going down, and earning a free kick. In a very promising position as well. The center back, Nicholas Spielman, getting his 3rd yellow card of the season. Excellent individual play from Angelo Kelly Rosales. Skips by a couple sliding challenges, wanted to go himself. And you love that intensity. That was missing earlier in that chance for one Knoxville from Callum Johnson. That drive to go to goal, to play that direct ball, to take it yourself. Took the defender on, got cleaned out, and gets a free kick on the edge of the area. We know Derek Waldeck has a left foot. This is a prime opportunity for a left-footed strike. Couple different players standing over it. Derek Waldeck, though, not the only one over the ball. Andrew Ploum joining him. So too is Frank Ross, it looks like. There will be a shot on goal, and what a shot it is! A sensational free kick. What a way to open the scoring. Frank Ross with his 1st of the campaign. Absolutely phenomenal. One Knoxville take the lead in minute number 36 from the foot of Frank Ross. The fans can't believe it. What a brilliant strike. In a game that has lacked that spark offensively. What a way to do it. Placed to perfection. Austin Pack, arguably the best goalie in the league, never going to keep that one out. And the first goal in the Marble City kit scored by Frank Ross for his 1st of 2023. The Scotsman playing in just his 7th match tonight. That goal in the 36th minute presented by Marksman's Jewelry. Now the Independents finding themselves behind. A defense notorious for its ability to ward off attacks. Left, right, center has taken a hit. As mentioned, there haven't really been a lot of clear-cut chances, but it's been Knoxville that's had most of them. They get their just reward, with plenty of work to be done, of course. Only 38 minutes in. Ross, the goal scorer, moves it along. Waldeck looking to switch the point of attack. Just under hit it. And Flanagan, the left back, has tucked in to intercept that ball. Now we'll go back out wide for Mbuyu. Nice skill to open up space for the pass. All the way across. Done well for Dimmick. Johnson to the center. Ibarra's header tipped over the bar. What a stop that is from Sean Lewis. And as we mentioned, offensive chances for Knoxville, really the best one we've seen so far for Charlotte. Lovely weighted pass in by Johnson. Nobody picked up Ibarra. Just 5'7", but forces Sean Lewis to get all the way up and tip it over the bar. The corner met by the head of Jordan Skelton. Johnson will keep it in play. Lovely touch by Frank Ross, who's kept it in play as well. Taking the contact, trying to keep the ball, and he does. Very smart play. The goal scorer having a bit of run of form now. Appeals for offside, not given against Jake Keegan. Squares up his man, plenty of space for the Knoxville Shirts to occupy in the attacking third. Vander Ploum will settle it down. Here's Kelly Rosales, the man who won the free kick. To the far side, Waldeck. 1-on-2, tries to get the early cross. Still not quite clear, and now it is. Charlotte looking a little bit more apprehensive at the back. It was not a convincing first touch on a cross from Waldeck that is less dangerous than what we've seen from him so far. Here's Thomas again. Great defense by Mbuyu, dispossessed. Looked like a foul, play will continue. And no call against Tresor Mbuyu. The striker tonight, all the way back, taking on a couple players too, and winning the ball successfully. Ibarra. Flanagan have to step on the gas a little bit to catch up to that one. Now we'll really turn on the Jets. Flanagan all the way across, and that looked like a prime opportunity for Bennett to pounce. Needed a clearance away. Looked like Jake Keegan going down right in front of the Knoxville bench. Head coach Mark McKeever is irate. Furious even. Gabriel Ciampi, the head official tonight, did not blow the whistle. And his crew now will have to watch now as the tempers flare a little bit following that challenge. Now around the box, they're going to have to be smart. Sean Lewis with a simple catch. And already directing traffic. You see it on your screen, 3-1-1 when scoring their first goal. Knoxville off the mark thanks to that Frank Ross free kick. Meanwhile, Charlotte just 1-1-2. 2 draws after conceding first 2 draws on the season for them. Far from out of this contest, both in name and nature. Almost had that chance to respond immediately with Miguel Ibarra. As play has really opened up here, 8 total shots as we near the first break. Really the only break at halftime. Kelly Rosales, lovely touch and turn on the overlap is Villalobos. Has some space and keeps his footing. Here's Waldeck. Saw the early switch but didn't elect to go for it. 3 defenders drawn in, trying to play the ball for Frank Ross. Does well to keep that one in bounds as well. And it required a toe poke away. Jalen Chrysler doing his best attacking impression as the center back wanted to go forward. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Into minute 43 of the opening 45 and change, of course. Still the 1 goal from Frank Ross, the difference maker. Flanagan chases down the strong pass that was intended for Ibarra. Thought about going back to him. Instead, keeps it himself. Goes down right at the edge of the area. And we've seen this before. A yellow card. It looked like Jimmy Villalobos, the man who brought down Avion Flanagan. And now players on both sides really starting to feel that momentum to drive at defenders, keep the ball for themselves. It's a yellow card, Stonewall, clear as day. This one straight away. Can't be more than 25 yards out. And you think immediately, well, that's easy enough, right? You're right there, but at the same time, it's tough to get it over the wall and then back down under the crossbar from that kind of distance. Omar Sis is standing over it. So too is Miguel Ibarra. It will be Omar Sis's free kick into the trees. Sean Lewis in no hurry to restart play. And I did mention it. It's easy to get it over the wall from that distance. The hard part's making it come back down to earth. And Sis will want that one back for sure. Only has 1 goal on the season, Omar Sis, but has scored or assisted in 2 of his last 3 matches. Was an all-league first-team selection last year. In fact, the only selection to that team from the Independents. A midfielder that was known to One Knoxville tonight from the film they've watched all season long. Hasn't really had that impact that he's been looking for. Flanagan going down again. Referee says the defender got the ball. Ross turns out of danger. Pass a little bit behind Villalobos, but able to keep it alive. Waldeck as we go into the one and only minute of added time.
Indicated a minimum 1 minute of first half stoppage time.
Kelly Rosales checking in and over his shoulder and moves it along. Waldeck. We've seen 4 at the back in possession from Knoxville before. That'll allow some space on the near side for the cross. That was blocked and came off of James Thomas last. There likely will not be enough time for Charlotte to start another attack, and Avion Flanagan seems to know it. Just trying not to give the ball away. All the way through, Vander Plaum elects to go back as the seconds tick away. And that will do it for the first half at Regal Soccer Stadium. The fans retreat to the locker room. Frank Ross, the lone difference maker in the opening 45 with his very first goal of the season from the free kick. An half rather that started to see offense for both sides toward the tail end of it. Plenty to be looked forward to on the other side of the break. We'll step aside for a little bit here from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. One Knoxville SC going into the break. 1 up. We'll see you on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
halftime score presented by KUB Fiber here at Regal Soccer Stadium at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. An electric first 45, but we've got some other stuff to talk about. Some league-wide news, some awards, but first, Wednesday's highlights with Brian Rose.
Wednesday, Lexington coming off of 3 straight draws. Chattanooga fresh off a 2-1 win over Madison a week ago. Looking for its first road point of the season, but Walefi trips up Diouf in the box in the 30th minute, so it's Don Smart time. And he buries his 3rd PK of the season. 6 career PK goals. That's 5th all-time in League One. We go to the second half off a corner kick, 63rd minute. The ball finds its way to Tate Robinson out there on the right, and he will find the foot of Khalid Balagoon, his 3rd goal of the season. Co-leaders for the top of the team in Lexington. Chattanooga held to just 3 shots. They're 0-5 on the road. Lexington will play at North Carolina tomorrow. News out of Northern Colorado, though. Trevor Emmon is the player of the month. 5 goals in the month. 13 career Northern Colorado goals in a season and a half-ish. And that is the all-time leader. So 1 goal in June so far for Trevor Emmon. The team was 3-0 in the month of May. So, of course, you're going to look to see who was the major contributor. Major contributor, he scored 5 of their 8 goals in the month of May. Goodness gracious. Only 1 penalty, by the way. That was it. And 3 of the goals he scored were the first goal of the match for the team. So a very good month for Trevor Emmon. He leads the league with 8 total goals. So keep an eye on this guy. And the leader of the pack in Northern Colorado, Ayman Zayed, former League One player and the first former League One player to receive Coach of the Month honors, is Coach of the Month. But what you dig a little deeper into this guy. He's not even 40 years old yet. He's got 160 career goals playing in all over the world. He's 2-0 against the USL Championship teams and 1-1 against the MLS. Those are Open Cup marks. What can't this guy do? But it's the culture, right? It's the culture. You mentioned he gets Coach of the Month, and he deflects it. He says it's Team of the Month, and he shines the spotlight on one of his guys, and not just one of his guys. Folks, Irvin Parra just finished his 3rd round of treatment for testicular cancer, which was diagnosed in February, and you can hear a lot of great sounds on the pitch, but you're not going to hear a better sound this weekend than the sound of the bell ringing, meaning treatment is over. Take a listen.
Yeah, babe.
Hello, Earth. Jesus, Mikey, you're like, that's right. He's looking for a fight.
You guys are my brothers. I'll do anything for you. Fuck all this sucky shit. You guys can.
A tender moment. We were eavesdropping on it. Good to see him back. He's been around the team this whole time. They've made sure he's been a part of it, and now cancer treatments are done for the time being. We hope to see you soon. Congratulations to Irvin Parra and the Northern Colorado Hailstorm. They are on quite a run. We'll be back after this.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Taxes man, left foot, and it's a first-time shot, and a goal! Luis Fernando! It's turned over. Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising!
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the news and notes from this week. Right at the top of your screen, a new signing for the Chattanooga Red Wolves, Marios Lomas, who scored 15 goals for Greenville, is back in the league, ready to play, has some experience in his home country of the Netherlands as well, playing pro soccer over there, and will be one to watch. He was a perpetual Team of the Week selection as we take a look at this week's Team of the Week, headlined by Emiliano Terzaghi, of course, the all-time leading goal scorer in USL League One. A lot of Northern Colorado players as well. Forward Madison getting a couple excellent selections. Wolfgang Prentice on there, though he's headed back to his home club. As we take a look at the leaders of the league, Trevor Ammon talked about North Colorado defense. How about their offense? 8 goals, 1 assist in 10 matches, still leading the race. Though Jake Keegan tonight could have the opportunity to try and close the gap. Meanwhile, on the other side, for the assist leader, currently tied 3-way, Tate Robinson, Olex Anderson, Leo Castro. The tiebreaker is goals scored, which is also tied. So that one heating up plenty. A couple names to watch there. Very, very exciting as the season will go on. Speaking of exciting and the season going on, the Golden Glove race. One of the hardest to win because, you know, you play one game and you concede 2 or 3, and that can drop you down a couple spots. You see Austin Pack for Charlotte in the lead. He's already conceded one tonight. Meanwhile, Sean Lewis in the top 5 as well, also playing tonight, 45 minutes away from another clean sheet, number 5 for him potentially on the season. Take a look at some scores from around the league. Northern Colorado won Knoxville. We talked about a little earlier, a scoreless draw between them. South Georgia Tormenta FC were able to break the deadlock before the break. Meanwhile, Richmond and Forward Madison still scoreless in that game. You see the Lexington Chattanooga game as well. 2-0 in favor of LSC. Coming up tomorrow, it'll be Lexington again playing some soccer against North Carolina FC, currently leading the table. A rematch of a 2-1 win in which Lexington got the scoring party started, but North Carolina were able to claw their way back. That one Sunday at 3 p.m. in Cary, North Carolina. So the scores, rather the upcoming schedule for this week. Mentioned that North Carolina-Lexington game. You take a look at the bottom of your screen. How about a Thursday night game? Forward Madison, Lexington SC. Don't say that a lot. Meanwhile, one Knoxville SC, who obviously you're seeing tonight, will be back in action on Wednesday at Union Omaha. All right, let's take a quick break one more time, and when we come back, we'll look at highlights from that first half and some stats as well. And then, of course, it's time to get the ball rolling again. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Attacks his man, left foot, and it's a first-time shot, and a goal! Luis Fernando! It's turned over. Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points. 3-1 Rising.
Still 1-0 here at Regal Soccer Stadium, the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Let's take a look at those highlights from the first 45. And, well, we know what's going to be happening later in the video, but it was one Knoxville SC that was on the front foot early on. Cross to the back post. Villalobos there. Great first touch. Takes it down, and then Callum Johnson just not connecting on it. You can see some of the reaction from his teammates as well. One Knoxville then again going forward. Villalobos once again on the ball. Working it out to the far side. Looking for options. Waldeck making the overlap. Instead, it's a great pass to the back post. Thomas's shot equaled by Austin Pack's save. Tracer Mbuyu, we talked about him early on in this game. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Tried to force a shot from a tough angle, but how about this shot from Frank Ross? The free kick goal that will be heard around the league. A real USL League One goal of the week contender right there. Plenty of soccer, of course, still to be played. Tracer Mbuyu trying to start things off as the Independents looked for an immediate response. They almost got it, too. Clay Dimmick holding up the ball. Plays Johnson on the slide rule pass. Chipped in towards 5'7". Miguel Ibarra got all the way up and forced a good save out of Sean Lewis. First half stats. Of course, 9 shots in that first half. Most of them toward the end of the first 45. Knoxville barely leading in that category. Also barely leading in possession. So you look at this screen and you think it's a pretty back and forth game. And, well, for the most part, you'd be right. So it should be a very exciting second half as we are once again underway here in the Marble City. One Knoxville SC in their Marble City kits. Brand new as of 2 days ago, the announcement was. Attacking right to left. Charlotte Independents in the all blue, left to right. Frank Ross, the lone goal scorer so far. Last week was his first start in almost 2 months. Earns the chance to be back in the starting 11. And what a shot that was in minute number 36. But with the Charlotte Independents in town, currently second in the table only on games won, it'll take more than that, you'd think, to beat them. There were promising signs in the latter stages of the opening 45 that there would be more goals in this game. As Knoxville will once again hold the ball and play the simple pass. We saw it in that first half. They don't go direct as much as some of the other teams in this league. And rather than looking for the first available pass, can they look for the best one? Sean Lewis was calling for the midfield to drop back a little bit. Vander Plaum has done just that, trying to get on the opposite side of the ball. Allows for that long pass over the top. Keegan trying to get the head on. Johnson got to it in the end. Keegan wants the throw in, and before he can take it, is forced to give it to the Independents. Clay Dimmick, rather, will be taking the throw instead. We've heard the referee's whistle blow for the first time in the second half. We saw 3 yellow cards in the first. It was a little bit chippy in that opening series. First 15-20 minutes or so, and then started to even out a little bit as the game really opened up. A chance to open up here for Omar Sis on the break. Has Joel Johnson. An option to his left-hand side, tries to keep it himself. Johnson trying to catch up to it, and that is a grade A sliding challenge at the back. Jimmy Villalobos take a bow. An excellent defensive play to stop what could have been 1-1. Waldeck all the way up, the left back to Villalobos. No time to celebrate that defensive play. He's already back in the swing of things. Forced to turn back. Waldeck. Vander Plaum. Lovely touch and turn by Keegan again. Forward tonight for one Knoxville, who has done most of his work with back to goal. Has to be expected with that true number 9 positioning. Have to be able to hold the ball up. He's done just that on a couple of occasions. We'll have to do it again here. Plays it back for Kelly Rosales. Vanderplown. Waldeck. Rosales wants to turn. All the way to the far side. James Thomas saw that chance in the first half highlights that he had. It's a great ball. Now Kelly Rosales thought about a shot. Instead it's a Travella pass that was mishit. Second ball opportunity. Thomas keeping it inbounds, going down in the area, and the whistle sounds for a penalty. Miguel Ibarra sprints right to the official. He could be careful here. He has to be careful. He's already got a yellow card. The referee, Gabriel Ciampi, doesn't look like he'll be changing his mind anytime soon. Saw him sprint right to the official. Get right up in his face. He may be lucky only to have a yellow. His teammates have to calm him down. And it will be a penalty kick. So far, no further punishment. Ibarra got a touch to it, didn't really clear it away. Excellent hustle play by James Thomas. Gets around Ibarra, you see them tussling, goes down. There was definitely some arm pulling, and the referee decided it was enough for contact and enough for a foul.
The referee has indicated a penalty kick.
Still discussions being had. And it will be the first penalty kick that Austin Pack has faced this season. And you see the antics already from the goalkeeper, crowding that penalty spot. This is the mental game that is so often underappreciated. What can he do to get inside the mind of the taker, which will be Jessen Vanderplown. Looking for his second goal this season? No. The old switcheroo. Frank Ross will step up. He's got the hot foot tonight in minute 51. Frank Ross versus Austin Pack. It's Ross. It's 2. A no-doubter from Frank Ross, who doubles his tally and Knoxville's tally on the night. Perfectly placed penalty from the Scotsman. And it's 1 Knoxville SC 2, Charlotte Independence nothing. Pack read it all the way, might have got the slightest of touches, but well placed with plenty of pace. Not gonna stop that one. So Frank Ross on the score sheet. Again, remember, he didn't score any this season before tonight. He started last week. That was his first start in 2 months. And now he's got goal number 2 on the season. That one presented by Markman's Jewelers. Markman's Diamonds, rather. What a fantastic story this is shaping up to be. Again, that start last time out, his head coach, Mark McKeever, said, I think those 60 minutes that he got against Northern Colorado were massive for him. He looks like he's moving much more comfortably. It's almost, said head coach Mark McKeever, like getting a new player in the mix. So if you need predictions, spells, fortune telling, maybe Mark McKeever could have a knack for that. Usually it's Ilya Illich, the man up top for 1 Knoxville. He picked up an injury. Frank Ross picked up an injury too around the same time and was able to come back into the mix a little bit quicker. He's found the back of the net twice tonight. Lovely cross in, had to be headed straight up, and Lewis went up for it too. Came down pretty hard. It looks like the referee stopped play for him. And that's always a tough one. Corey Bennett just didn't want to go up for it, tried his best to just stand out of the way. And aggressive goalkeeping from Sean Lewis, who has played every match this season, when Knoxville only have one more goalkeeper on the roster who is yet to appear in 2023. He's arguing for a card, but understands the no call. Back on his feet, always good to see. And a chance to rehydrate as well for his teammates. Currently 76 degrees in the Marble City. Not as hot as it will get this summer by any means, but decent temperature nonetheless. As this will add some considerable stoppage time as well to the end of this contest. So 2 goals, both from set pieces for one Knoxville SC. They've looked the far brighter team from open play thus far. Seeing a lot of the ball. That was something Coach Mike Jeffries for Charlotte talked about. That they know that one Knoxville is going to keep the ball. They know that they could do that. It's the 11th brace this season for a one Knoxville player. Pardon, 11th total brace of the season. And just the first brace for one Knoxville player. Of course, of the 11 across the league, Northern Colorado, as to be expected, has 3 of them, all by a guy named Trevor Ammon, who is leading the Golden Boot race so far. Jake Keegan came into that race tonight in 4th place, 5 goals. Hasn't scored yet tonight. Again, he's played most of tonight with his back to goal, but his coach said he's gone from strength to strength. Something that he's been able to do, rather, is step up as a leader for those around him. It's always tough to measure. How do you measure a leader on the stat sheet? Goals and assists, sure, but key passes, aerial duels, all that stuff only does so much. But Coach Mark McKeever emphasized the role that Keegan has had and the development, the synergy of this squad. He's done well on the ball tonight. Plenty of time for him to get a look at goal as this contest rolls on. Duty for Spellman. Mbuyu. Flanagan on the overlap. Has space for the shot. Just let the ball roll away from him a bit. Flanagan again. Not keen to get back on defense just yet, and that's why. Kelly Rosales not going to give the ball back without saying his piece. From that sort of distance, can absolutely swing one in. Flanagan standing over it, so too is Miguel Ibarra. Players queuing up right where the semicircle meets the box on the near side. Barra's cross towards Johnson, headed it back across, and one more time, and over the bar from Nicholas Spielman. Not quite how Charlotte drew it up on the training ground. It was a great ball, and Johnson totally lost his mark, and it looked like he just got ahead of the ball a little bit because he had space to try and redirect that at goal, but body language was all off. Call is up and in from Sean Lewis. Sends this one up high. Player goes down and the referee's whistle will sound just as quickly. And Jake Keegan can't help but laugh. Charlotte won a yellow card. We saw that in the early goings of the first half. Brad Dunwell a little bit shaken up on the play. Played his college soccer not too far up the road from here with Wake Forest. Golden opportunity really on the turn for Knoxville. Again, seeing the patient play they've had, not a team that usually goes direct rather, and Frank Ross had some space. Could have maybe been talking three. Instead, it's back with Dunwell. Johnson. Calls to turn. Himmick instead plays the way he faces, so too does Ibarra. Sis forced to play back as well. Knoxville stepping up in possession. And in the press, they've won the ball back. Pass a little bit behind Johnson, moves it along. Keegan. Here is Frank Ross. Wants a third, tries to cross it a face. Austin Pack able to scoop that one up. Just a little bit too close to the byline for the cross there. But you love seeing the confidence from, again, somebody whose coach described him as a brand new player. Saw the high press on the last possession for one Knoxville. They're settling in a little bit more now. Just waiting, forcing Charlotte to make a mistake in possession. Talked about the need for the Independents to be aggressive, and really the best time we've seen that was right after they conceded the first. Maybe Mbuyu can provide that aggression. Nobody checking in for that ball in midfield. Sis on the turn. And that pass was never on. Smart defensive play and just hitting it long, giving a chance for Keegan to chase. And one Knoxville to step up a little bit. They've been pushed back in their own half quite a bit. Lovely nutmeg on the turn from Dunwell. Flanagan. Lovely move by Tresor Mbuyu. Has options with him. One of them is Omar Sis. Wide of the frame. Lewis was scrambling for it too. Tresor Mbuyu just turned his mark inside out. Cutting it back, taking a little bit of a hop. It looked like it just got behind in the stance of Omar Sis, swiped across it rather than really connecting with that ball. As we will now see the first couple changes of the night. Dane Kelly, who has usually been the starter up top, will enter this contest for Corey Bennett. Meanwhile, Gabriel Obertan will take the place of Miguel Ibarra. Rather, Brad Dunwell will be the player replaced by Obertan. So Dane Kelly, one of the substitutes with 2 goals and 2 assists. And Gabriel Obertan, on paper, 34 years old, but has had quite the storied career Johnson. Ibarra. All the way out of bounds on the far side. Kelly Rosales will leave it behind. James Thomas wants to make sure he's on the exact right blade of grass. We saw that a little bit in the first half. Creative idea. Execution not quite there. Here's Mbuyu. First touches from Dane Kelly. Still looks like he needs to get the legs warm a little bit. Obertan to take the throw in and is stopped before he can do so. As the fans will sound in raucous applause. Frank Ross has been substituted off, but not before he made his mark on this match in some style from a free kick and then again from 12 yards out. A man who has been, quote, a brand new player for his head coach, Mark McKeever, has earned his rest in the 65th minute to be replaced by Seba Andreasen. The Norwegian who only has 1 goal on the season, making his 11th appearance and 8th off the bench. As the fans at Knoxville have started a new chant, Super Frank Ross. You love to hear it from the One Knoxville faithful. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be a new face to keep an eye on, especially for Union Omaha, who host One Knoxville on Wednesday. Derek Waldeck to restart play. And is told to take his leave of the ball by his goalkeeper, Sean Lewis. A couple Charlotte players interested about time wasting, but a little bit early in the game for that. Andreassen's first touch off his head is down in plenty of space for Kelly Rosales. Thomas. Still Thomas, tried his best. Not the cleanest run ever, but able to keep the ball. To the far side, Van der Plow. That was a little bit of a hospital pass toward the back, needed a quick step in. As Dane Kelly will chase it down. Charlotte with a chance to move out of their low block. Now with Shalom Duty. Surveying his options. So much distance between that midfield line and the forwards for Charlotte. Gabriel Obertan try and explore that space. Man only substituted on just a couple minutes ago. Already trying to get something going. Spielman to Mbuyu. Flanagan's made the overlapping run and holds it up. Mbuyu will try and go himself. It's an excellent play by James Thomas to concede the corner. First time we've seen the independence from the flag in a little bit. It will be Miguel Ibarra to take the in-swinging ball. Plenty of blue shirts in the area to aim for. Ibarra toward the edge of the 6 and headed away smartly. Rosales trying to chase it down, able to get to it but not keep it in play. Went down right in front of the Knoxville bench. Referee didn't blow for any contact, and that will start to creep in the psyche now of the Knoxville defense. They'll have to be careful on the edge of the area, especially with Tresor Mbuyu on the ball. Now Obertan tries to push and go for himself. Obertan's cross toward the middle. Kelly second to it. Duty on the volley. For a second there, it looked like Sean Lewis was frozen in place. And that one on the wrong side of the post. Shalom Duty yet to score this season, but has played professional soccer with the Charlotte Independents since 2020. That would have been some strike as well. Smart idea to try and go slow with it. Caught it decently enough. Not a lot of spin on the ball.
He's allowed to do that.
As the referee, Gabriele Ciampi, has issued a yellow card to Jalen Chrysler. And that's yellow card number 6 on the season for him. And believe it or not, he's actually tied now with Angelo Kelly Rosales for the most yellow cards on the team. I get word that dissent was the reason. That's an easy way to go into the book. Haven't been too many moments in history where a referee's mind has been changed by a player arguing with them. As one Knoxville immediately appealed for another yellow card. Skelton motioned to kick out. Referee didn't see that.
Yellow card issued to 1 Knoxville, number 5, Jalen Chrysler.
Chrysler very upset. Skelton will continue having a talk with the referee, as any team's captain does. As the final score has been decided between the Richmond Kickers and Forward Madison, with the Flamingos on top by a 1-0 scoreline. Stephen Payne, the goal scorer, who was the man of the match for Forward Madison last week in their 3-0 win against North Carolina in Madison, and his 78th minute strike, bringing home all 3 points. Kelly Rosales on the turn in the area, and the free header for Seba Andreasen is off the mark. He can't believe it. Fans more than encourage him. He'll be able to get it right back with the way that one Knoxville have been playing. Here's Obertan, the man with one of the most storied careers in USL League One, has played for Manchester United, Newcastle United, Bordeaux, and Ligue 1. Some of the best teams in Europe and the world. 34 years of age, still playing this game that we all love. Began his pro career back in 2006. There he is, a Paris native, looking focused as ever as he directs traffic for Charlotte in the low block. Chance here for one Knoxville on the break. On the near side, Johnson got the shot away, didn't quite connect with it how he imagined. Here's Clay Dimmick for the Independents. Obertan. Duty. Johnson playing a little bit deeper than how we saw him play in the first half. Duty wants to explore a little bit and is brought down right at midfield by Seba Anderson. Ibarra. Johnson. Obertan. Tried to slide it in behind, and with some clearance. If in doubt, kick it out. It's the saying among defenders. And that will give plenty of time for a substitution to be made. Couple of subs warming up, but yet to enter this contest. If there was ever a time to do it, you think that would be it? But at least the ball kid gets his exercise for the day. Lewis stamping it forward. Flicked on, just not quite at the angle that Keegan was expecting or hoping. Puts his hand up in apology. And now with Seba Andreasen off the bench for one Knoxville, we'll see if the home side elects to go with a two-striker setup rather than one sitting behind the other. It almost looks like a three across in defense. Saw that aggressive pressure off the ball from one Knoxville in the first half. Sitting back just a little bit more now. Obertan. Buyu goes down. Play restarted quickly. Obertan wants to find Mbuyu again. This time stays on his feet. Keeps the ball. Flanagan's cross, never staying in bounds. It sounds like the one Knoxville faithful are getting ready to add some energy to the atmosphere at Regal Soccer Stadium tonight. As now two substitutes prepare to enter tonight's contest. It'll be Luis Alvarez and Luka Sawinski, both midfielders. Tracer Mbuyu taken off. Sawinski, 18 years of age, on loan from FC Tulsa and a product of the Barcelona Academy this side of the pond. As Alvarez's first action as a substitute is to bring down Derek Waldeck.
Substitutions for Charlotte Independence. Entering the field, number 14, Luis Alvarez, exiting Tresor Mbuyu.
Into minute number 76. One Knoxville SC looking to steal all 3 points at home against Charlotte Independence. Philip Galati with you. So far, Frank Ross, the difference maker, not once but twice from a free kick and a penalty. One in the first half, one in the second. Charlotte have seen the lion's share of possession in this second half, but have not really created many opportunities with it. That might change now with Alvarez. Fresh legs, can't keep the ball underneath them. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Here is Luka Sawinski. 18 years old, moves it along for Spielman. Andreasen trying to chase it down, brought down as well. It looked like Shalom Duty got most of the ball, and that was the judgment of the refereeing crew as well. Take another look at it. That's a clean challenge. Lost a shin guard, but don't think Duty will seem to mind. The physical challenge, yes. Brought down the attacker, yes, but got the ball first, kept the studs down. Seems like the right call. Andreasen is back to goal. And Flanagan read that pass beautifully. Here's Johnson. Acres of space. Elects to go long instead. Think there, Johnson, you've seen step up a little bit, especially in the first half, would explore that space. Really, it's been Gabriel Obertown who checks in and receives the ball now, who's been carrying the ball in midfield the most, making those runs, drawing defenders. Everything else just a little bit static from Charlotte. Playing the smart pass, yes, but that also allows one Knoxville to settle in. In the 78th minute with 2 goals up, they're just going to bring more bodies backwards and send the ball forwards. Hack heads it down. Screaming at his defenders to get forward. It is, it's very static. To the far side. Sawinski. Flanagan. Sawinski wanted the 1-2. Finally gets it. Tried to squeeze the pass in between two players. Fights for it and loses that fight. Kelly Rosales. All the way up. Shalom Duty, the center back, has stepped up as his goalkeeper asked him to. And the referee will pull it back. No, he'll like play to continue. Looked like the whistle was going to sound there for a second. An advantage being played. Obertan. Doesn't see many options in front of him. That's a lovely pass in behind and a great save as well. A great run by Dane Kelly, but some stop that was by Sean Lewis. Like a cheetah off his line. So quick to read that and get down low. Excellent goalkeeping. Corner taken quickly, recycled, and an excellent sliding challenge too by Kelly Rosales. Knoxville might look to break now, and they do. Waldeck wanted that diagonal ball, has to slow it down. Couldn't quite evade the pressure of three Charlotte players. Obertan with a full tank of gas, moves it along for Kelly. One-on-one, and it got away from him. Spielman. Sawinski trying to get to it. And out of bounds for the goal kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including the return of USL. All access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern starting June 13th. Plus, hear more live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Number 12, Callum Johnson. Entering number 9.
Callum Johnson will now make way for Ahinga Selemani. A forward-minded substitution for head coach Mark McKeever. Just some fresh legs up top. Knoxville will just try and play route one, classic pass over the top, as Lewis does. And it will be Selemani's job to try and hold that up for as long as he can and put some pressure on the back line. Obertan's touch lets him down. Waldeck had some space to go forward. Instead, Selemani will stretch his legs and get to the ball. Took some contact as well. Stayed on his feet. Kelly Rosales didn't. Here's Luis Alvarez the other way. Has Dane Kelly to his right-hand side and finds him. Kelly's first touch opens up space for the shot. Sean Lewis got there to his near post and kept it in play. Solid goalkeeping from Sean Lewis once again. Alvarez given plenty of daylight to stride forward, and it was some first touch. Look at the space and the separation for Kelly. It's a decent shot from that angle, not much more you can do. Lewis read it all the way. Here's Selemani. Kelly Rosales almost got away from him. That looked like a tough challenge. Not sure what Dane Kelly is so angry about. Didn't really get the ball there. Just frustration showing. Kelly with 4 goal contributions on the season. He's been playing pro soccer since 2010. Making just his 3rd appearance off the bench this season. He started 9 games. Selemani skips away from the challenge and will hold it in the corner. Villalobos. Vander Plow. Here is Angelo Kelly Rosales. Thought about going forward for a little bit. Waldeck keen to hold things up. Look at the pressure from Obertan. And one right back as well. Jessen van der Ploem, that stop-start player, doing what he does best. You saw him move the ball a lot in the first half, and now he's playing some excellent defense too. It looked like a spark of energy there from Gabriel Obertan for Charlotte. Intercepted that pass, had some ground to cover, did it so well. That skill move not executed as well. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. At Phoenix Stadium, not an easy spot to play soccer for any visiting team. Quite the fan base over there, as the fan base tonight in the Marble City has had plenty to take in as Sean Lewis takes in another cross. And the fans sound their support. Avion Flanagan has been absolutely everywhere. He really has not been a consistent starter this season. Went all the way forward and just no one was helping him. Ran out of room. Andreasen trying to head it on. Just a little strong for Selimani. Into minute number 86. The 2-goal cushion starting to be prodded out a little bit by Charlotte. And again, that shot a couple minutes ago from Dane Kelly. The best chance. Haven't really seen Sean Lewis been forced into tough situations. Made 1 or 2 really good stops, but that's about it. Maybe that'll change now. Swincy's cross conceded for a corner. Alvarez will jog over to take it. He has an assist this season. It came last time out. Arm goes up, ball goes in, and headed over the bar and wide as well. Sean Lewis will be in no hurry to restart. Has been an anchor in this side that has just gained momentum over the season. Every team they've played, the first time, if they lose, the next time they draw. They draw the first time, they get the win the next time. They continue to get better and better. And that's the culture of building a new team, said head coach Mark McKeever. Got to have guys that are willing to put in the work every day. As South Georgia Tormenta in Northern Colorado kicked off when we did, but currently in a rain delay at halftime. Here's Alvarez trying to take a shot, not connecting. Alvarez frustrated with himself, has not been able to really test the back line that again has just continually improved over the season with players like Derek Waldeck. Manager described him as a sponge, just learning all the time. Film sessions, training sessions, matches on the weekend, doesn't matter. On the other side, we've got James Thomas at right back, who we talked about a lot in that first half, getting forward. One of a handful of players that have played for head coach Mark McKeever before. As Charlotte will take its last substitution. Ryan JJ will go in for Avion Flanagan at the left back, who's been a real bright spot for this team. You have a couple players on this one Knoxville roster that have played for head coach Mark McKeever before. Cross into the area, headed one straight up. Still alive if Spielman can work it back into the mixer. Spielman still trying to fight for it. Waldeck taking the contact and drawing the foul. A former super draft pick by FC Dallas. Showing some grit. Keep that ball in play, and that's a simple challenge, simple call rather. And what a run Knoxville is starting to find themselves in. Again, these players that are familiar to head coach Mark McKeever. Ilya Illich, James Thomas, Jessen Vanderploum, and Seba Andreasen, all names we've said tonight, all played college soccer at Young Harris, Division II. They all played at different times, but all for the same head coach. Has a chance in behind for Ahinga Selemani, trying to cut onto his right foot, going down in the box. And the flag went up for offsides anyways. Selemani, not one of those players who has previously been coached by Mark McKeever, but some professional experience in Gibraltar and Greece and Malta, a couple places in Europe. As Johnson goes forward, tries the shot himself, and it just flashed wide. It didn't look far away by any means.
The fourth officials indicated a minimum 4 minutes of second half stoppage time.
As the officials have added a minimum of 4 to the end of this one. Great cut onto the right foot. Oh, it really wasn't wide by that much at all. Saw the shadow just flash on the post. So far, Sean Lewis and the Knoxville back line on pace to keep clean sheet number 5 this season. Talked about the outside backs. The center backs tonight have been fantastic. Jalen Chrysler, USL League One regular season champion last year with the Richmond Kickers. Jordan Skelton, the captain for this team. A 2021 USL League Two champion with the Des Moines Menace, again coached by Mark McKeever. Waldeck trying to chip Selemani in behind the back line. Dimmick is forced to scramble it to the other side. Here is Gabriel Obertan. Lovely pass, just too strong for Dimmick. Didn't get his foot out in time. Andreasen wanted to break. Instead, just gonna lamp the ball forward. 92 minutes of a minimum 94. Pack looking for a lifeline, someone to contest for that ball. Instead, headed away by Skelton. Alvarez. Obertan. Onto his right. Thought about the shot. And instead it's a cross into no man's land. One more change to be mentioned in minute number 93. Angelo Kelly Rosales is still the player down. Trainers will check him out. Just stretching out that right leg. Of course, the added time is only a minimum. You will think that there'll probably be a couple more added on. Might have just slipped up a little bit. Stretched a muscle the wrong way. Tough to do. One Knoxville SC. Talked to Coach McKeever this week, said what was the focus on training, and he said keeping everybody healthy. You know, the problem you want to have as a head coach is trying to pick out who's going to start, who's going to be in your 18. For One Knoxville, it's a pretty easy job because they only got about 18 guys rather that are healthy. As Kelly Rosales is helped back to his feet and seems in bright spirits. Sportingly with Dane Kelly, always good to see. So Jake Keegan, a forward who didn't score tonight but played very well, has made way for Gabriel Claudio, who is a defender on paper, just an insurance substitution. As a midfielder, Sam Fletcher enters for Angelo Kelly Rosales, who has been helped off the pitch. And another yellow card as well. Looks like Omar Sis might have said something in passing to Gabriel Ciampi, the referee, that he didn't like. So one last yellow card, and that will be Sis's 5th of the season too. Salamani trying to chase it down. Still got some energy left, and Pack had to scramble. Waldeck's header. Villalobos getting the call. Gabriel Obertan isn't even mad, he just can't believe it. If anything, it looked like a foul going the other way. It didn't really look like a foul as some afters have started on the other side of the center circle. Luis Alvarez having to be held back by Joel Johnson. See if there is yet another yellow card to be brandished here. Obertan now having a talking to, as it looks like both of these sets of players just waiting for this one to wind all the way down. Don't want tempers to boil over. As the official will once again mark the specific blade of grass for the play to be restarted from. In the minute 97, Vanderploum. The whistle's still in the referee's hand. Obertan trying to turn out of danger. Now Alvarez, who lost possession. That should just about do it. And it will. A well-deserved 3 points at home for One Knoxville SC, who knock off Charlotte Independence by a score of 2-0, both courtesy of the right foot of Frank Ross. A well-played game from the hosts, who looked in control from the very off. Sean Lewis, the goalkeeper, had some work to do in the closing stages. And there is the man of the match, Frank Ross, with 2 goals to his name and 3 points for his team. Some action in the first half from One Knoxville, and finally heated up toward the end. Frank Ross with 2 goals finishes One Knoxville SC 2, Charlotte Independence 0. We've got more for you though on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league, the USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Full time from Regal Soccer Stadium, the final score, 1 Knoxville SC, 2 Charlotte Independence, nothing. The post-game show presented by KUB Fiber as we take a look at the highlights from this one. Early on in the first half, it was 1 Knoxville with a couple chances. Really wasn't that much of an open game. That was until the first touch from Villalobos set up the first touch from Callum Johnson, just didn't find the net. We thought that might change a little bit later. Villalobos again with an option to his left-hand side. And then look at the run of number 16 at the back post, wide open. James Thomas couldn't connect. It was a great save by Austin Pack, but he was never keeping this one out. A free kick that he will remember for the rest of his life. Frank Ross, take a bow. What a way to send 1 Knoxville into the locker room, 1-0, the leaders. Almost a chance, though, for Miguel Ibarra that could have troubled that scoreline. And we'll say Ibarra's name again, but this time for bringing down James Thomas at the edge of the area. It's a penalty, and it's converted by guess who? Frank Ross once again, 2-0, 1 Knoxville. This is the first time he started back-to-back games in 2 months, and he scores 2 goals, both of which are new for him this season. As we take a look at the full-time stats presented by CGI, Charlotte Independence really stepping things up in the second half in terms of shots, but you can see 14 shots, only 4 on target. Really didn't do that much to trouble Sean Lewis, but full credit to the 1 Knoxville keeper who did well when he was called to get his 5th clean sheet of the season. And that'll do it from Regal Soccer Stadium at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. 1 Knoxville SC, the 2-0 victors over the Charlotte Independence. Frank Ross, the hero at home for the Knoxville faithful. For our producer Ryan Rose, I've been Phil Kalani. For everybody behind the scenes, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Father's Day weekend.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.